Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we love having serial entrepreneurs, inspiring speakers, media personalities, and more. And in this case, it's all combined into one. And so we're honored to have with us Donzaleigh Powell. She is the founder and CEO of Donzaleigh Incorporated. How are you doing?
I am great this morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you have your own amazing story when you talk about being a corporate executive, a serial entrepreneur, international guest speaker, media personality. Give us a little bit of your backstory.
Yeah, so I always like to start with, because I like to be as transparent with people as possible. So I was a teenage mom, and I mean, pretty young at that. And so that kind of was my wake up call, so to speak. And from there, I just kind of had this drive just to kind of keep excelling, keep progressing. Like, I still finished high school on time. I went straight into college, ended up going back, getting my master's degree. And all of my professional positions that I held were all kind of one of wearing many hats. So where I was the liaison, I needed to know who all the community organizations were. I needed to know the nonprofits, who were the businesses, and who were they looking for as far as who they were hiring. It was just my job to always be the face and be in front and be connecting people. I love connection. And so that kind of just spearheaded me, all throughout my life. In every position, it was something similar, different jobs, but still carrying those kind of skills and attributes. And the last one, my last corporate position that I had, same thing, but it also kind of catapulted me as far as, even in the construction industry. So something that you wouldn't necessarily think, oh yeah, you did that. That's something that somebody with a lot of personality necessarily has. But it just kind of really helped me to kind of grow as far as not only an individual, but professionally, and really learning and making a lot of connections. And so I guess my backstory to that is why I want to give that caveat. Part of what I want to do is help those young adults. Though I had amazing parents growing up, I didn't want to talk to them about a lot of things. It's just kind of it. First of all, I was also a preacher's kid. So there was a lot of things that that either didn't get discussed or I didn't want to hear it from them. But I'm pretty sure I would have listened to somebody else that I kind of felt they might have still been older than me, but it wouldn't have been my parents, and felt comfortable in sharing and asking questions. And so I now want to be that person. I kind of call it auntie, where, you don't have to be related to me, but you're able to at least bounce questions off and ask those things. So really, that's kind of how this all began.
Yeah, and I think we'll definitely dive in deeper on that side. And people ask me all the time why I volunteer coach I did the middle school and now the varsity high school tennis teams. And it's like, I do it because, to your point, these young men and women need role models. They need someone outside of their parents they can talk to. And the conversations that I have are extremely interesting but important, and I just see how fragile they are, and yet how the ego drives it. Like, there's so many things, but you just want to pour in and love on these kids who need positive reinforcement. They need role models. They need someone, just like you're saying, to step in and give them the wisdom, the advice, the mentorship, the guidance that they need, that's not from their parents, but that's someone that can be a trusted advisor. And I think, this is an extremely important conversation, especially with where we are in society today. And so carry that into a little bit of your media side, because you have TV shows and all these things that you do too. So where did that start to step in?
So media-wise, first of all, I've been a photographer. I always did it on the side. At this point, almost going on 16 years. And when I transitioned from corporate America to being at this point, still solopreneur, though I do have kind of a team, so to speak, I really started thinking about, okay, it's all on me. You just got to make stuff work. You got to make it happen. Of course, bills don't stop, or any of those great things. And so I started thinking about, okay, how can I expand? And I started thinking about, what have I been doing for these companies, these other companies. And again, that wearing the multiple hats. So I like being organized. I would never want to do the exact same thing all day, every day. That's just not me. I would be bored to death. I would not be as productive. And so I started thinking, okay, what are the things that I have been doing? Doing events, trainings, workshops, all of those things. As far as media is related, one of the things that I saw over my career was, now to talk about Nashville specifically, Nashville has so many resources, so many things that are available, but more than half the people don't know about them. They have no idea that they exist. And what I saw over and over again, I'm making all these connections, is you might have that grandmother that's sitting on the couch watching TV and does not know that 2 doors down, she could help her grandson get into this program where he could come out of high school already with credits towards college, already with a trade, all kinds of things. And they just did not know. And so I started D-ConneXion TV. That was just kind of my way of giving back. So somewhat similar, of course, not on this scale, but just a way, how can we get this information to the people that need it? Since there's not a unified one place to find all these things. And I wish kind of if it could roll through the mayor's office or someplace where everybody knows and can find these places easily. But that hasn't happened yet. So places like you are the way that some of these things happen. And so, so I pretty much went out, started that, did that for a while. Then I started realizing, again, just the passion that I have for the young adults. So I kind of took a little bit of a pause just so that I can get this piece together. And then I'd like to do it directly, I guess, more focused on that target age range.
Yeah. And I think, all of this is important because, to your point, you have to meet people where they are. It's all about relationships. It's all about the higher purpose. And to your point too, it's constantly seeing challenges, but coming up with solutions and saying, hey, I'm willing to step in and figure this out and be a positive force for good and, and make it happen, to be able to connect these dots and, open these relationships that lead to new opportunities. So I just think there's that common through line of where your heart for serving others in the community is really important. And so talk about the vision tour. Let's go ahead and start diving into the work that you're doing.
Sure. So when I first started doing workshops, I'd say that was probably about 8 years ago. And I would make them very specific. So I might have one on time management because I feel like I'm good at that. That's what I do. I have to in order to juggle all the things that I have. Or I might do one on professionalism or, just different topics. And then about 3 years ago, it kind of came to me. I was like, you know what? Let me make one consolidated event where it's cramming all of the meatiest pieces of those things into one and allowing people to come, especially sometimes I end up doing them a bit more toward the end of the year through the beginning of the year, only because a lot of people are in that mode of, okay, it's almost the end of the year. I either haven't done what I wanted to do, or I have done it and now what's next? You're kind of in that just trying to figure it out, how am I making progress with my life? And so I started the vision tour and of course started here locally in Nashville. I've done them in several places now though. So like last year, early March, we went to Cleveland, Ohio. So I've had multiple places. Of course, trying to always at least have one here at home. This year, my goal is to have 4. So I'm thinking about Dallas, Atlanta, Huntsville, and then of course here. So it's something that I want to grow because when people attend, I have had amazing feedback. Like literally, it's not even like I'm giving them rocket science, but sometimes we just need that jolt and that reminder, like, hey, what are you really here for? Like, what are you really trying? It's not just to clock in and out every day. I promise you, it's not that. And so going through some of the things that I've learned, I'm a progressionist. So I love continuous learning. And so I go to conferences and I'll fly out to go do these types of things. And I like to bring that information back. I'm one of those, I am not going to be the gatekeeper. If I'm able to share information that makes sense and I know that people need, I want to bring in speakers and I want to pour into them. And then we also, we, especially this past year, we were very intentional about including a wellness component. So yes, you might have all these goals, dreams, and again, years and years, I was a workaholic. I'm recovering, so I'm doing much better. But you have to start to build in, okay, yeah, you can go, but you also need to build in time for yourself. You also need to learn how to say no to some things. You also, yeah, so I like to build that in too. So
Cover
that's kind
this
of what we
on
do.
both sides. Cover it from the cities and organizations that say, hey, this sounds exciting. We want to bring it here. So I'm thinking like in Memphis, hey, how can we help kind of bring the vision tour to Memphis? So talk about it from that vantage point, and then talk about it from the guest, the experience standpoint in terms of like what a typical experience is like with the vision tour.
Sure. So I would say the people that have had us come to their city, it's typically for instance, the one that I mentioned in Cleveland, they have basically an organization that pulls in people from the community. They have people that are lacking in life skills, etc. So they had me specifically to come in, which was to talk to the young adults. I think they were in high school age, right? But then they also had me do a second workshop the next day for the parents, because we've seen before, you can preach all day to the kids, but then if they keep going home to the same type of things and the same mindset, I'm really big on mindset, just because it's so powerful. It can completely change your life if you're able to kind of adapt. And so we went through similar but different. We definitely, our team, we kind of tailor it to who it is. So we've done some that are faith-based, where we just include more scriptures to back basically the same things that we're talking about. We've done business. I've got a lot of entrepreneurs. So like in Knoxville, Tennessee, we did one there one time that was solely for entrepreneurs. And we talked a lot more, again, about what are the business issues that are going on? How does that affect you? But still, same basic principles. And then as far as I think the person that attends experience, number one, they're going to come in and we have kind of like, we want you to be able to get stuff out. That's how it's helpful when you not only are hearing, but you're able to express. And we have kind of almost take you back a little bit to when you were a kid. So like we have a huge thing where literally everyone can kind of have a little piece of coloring in on this big, it's like an elaborate design, or, you might walk in and you might see a huge sheet of paper that says, how are you doing with your wellness? What things are you doing towards your wellness? Things that make you start thinking, what have I been doing? Or, do you need prayer today? List them. You don't have to put your name or any of that stuff, but just things like that. Then we go into, again, just making sure that we do cover the basics as far as what are your goals? Here are some strategies to actually achieve them, not just saying new year, new me, and then you fall off in 3 months. It's really not helpful and that's not productive. So like, how do we really make that, and putting in that accountability piece? If you know that you're someone that you're gung-ho on fire for a while and then you fall, maybe we need to figure out something so that we can kind of help you, make your way through that. And then again, we built in the wellness. Literally, we've got some great people that were able to kind of calm the entire room, just kind of just create the environment of just being open, receptive, and like, I can't even explain. You really do have to kind of be there. And then, of course, making sure that we tackle any topics that we know are hot. So like branding, marketing, how are you doing on your social media? It's stuff like little pieces that, again, it's quick and it's to the point, but stuff that people can use in their everyday life.
Yeah, and I think just knowing that it's fully customizable, on the community side in terms of bringing it to the community, and applicable obviously for so many different audiences. And at the same time, on your end, for those who are attending, you're going to walk away with so much great information. And I think even like on the personal branding side, I had a conversation yesterday with a young man who was talking about how he was trying to keep his professional and personal brand separate. And it's like, that's very hard to do these days. And so little things like that make a huge difference, just like you're talking about, whether that's wellness, the time management. There's so much that I think you can help individuals with, who, just like you said, sometimes you may be saying something similar, but the way you're saying it makes an impact. And so all of this stuff to me is really important because it helps lift individuals, families, and the community at large. So
Yep.
Wrap up with contact information. Where can we go to carry these conversations forward, to connect with you, to learn more about the Vision Tour and the different locations in the future? Where do we go?
Sure. The best place would be my website. So it's DonzaleigHinc.com. And on there you can actually subscribe. So that way if something's coming out, you'll be in kind of the news feed to be able to get it. And then also same thing as far as socials. So I have a Donzaleigh Incorporated, all the things. I don't have TikTok yet though, so don't blame me for that. But Facebook, Instagram, or my website would definitely. You can also always email me, dp@donzaleighinc.com. I'm here. So I love connecting with people. I love seeing where the needs are. And again, if it's something that I don't do or that I can do, I might know someone that can. Because again, I love connection, and I have no problem with making sure that you get whatever it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, awesome resource all the way around. And so once again, Donzaleigh Powell, founder and CEO, Donzaleigh Incorporated, and the website is Donzaleighinc.com. So that makes it easy. So Donzaleigh, thank you for all you do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.